Super exciting stuff coming up. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to bring up this short little presentation that I have for everybody. Let me go back over here, share. Sorry guys, I'm not used to this webinar process, so let's hope I get it right. Hopefully you guys can see my screen, correct?
Yes.
And we will play the slideshow. All right. So this is our May 20th update. I know we haven't, I don't know if we did one last week or not. I think we did it late, but we've got some, I think, some really encouraging stats to share with everybody. I want to go over the tokenomics currently so everybody understands where we're sitting. You guys, I think you're an amazing community of people. I know we see a lot of selling and whatnot going on, on the exchange. But when you actually look at the numbers, we are so super strong. It's really exciting. I've got multiple spreadsheets that I use, so I see all kinds of data and the algorithms and everything. And this right here, when I just simplify it down for the community, it's like, wow, this actually looks really good. So everybody knows we listed, well, maybe not everybody knows, but most of you know we listed the MoveQuest token on July 21st of 2024. And we started mining on the Avalanche blockchain on August 1st of 2024. And Avalanche was our proof of concept launch. We did our beta build on the Binance Smart Chain. We really didn't go, crazy as far as building up the community. Lots of bumps and bruises because what we've created, there's no project anywhere that's done what we've done in the crypto space within the move to earn space. There's lots of them out there. None of them have the self-funding ecosystem like we have. None of them have the reward system that we have. None of them encapsulate all of your physical activity, including your sleep, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. None of them are fully and completely decentralized where you're completely in control. And so we're really proud of this app. Yes, it's taken us almost 4 years to build it, but we've done an amazing job. We're the only ones out here who have this mining system, and Avalanche allowed us to prove that our self-funding ecosystem works. And so we follow, as everybody knows, the Bitcoin tokenomics of 21 million. We use the basic same distribution numbers with a little bit of change, meaning we don't introduce all of that token without the demand for it. Obviously, you see why. When you do have overselling, which we really don't have overselling. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. Yes, there's a lot of people that are selling that if they didn't sell right now, the market value would be extremely high. We would have a liquidity pool of over $38 million. Let's say nobody sold any MoveQuest, right, since last July 21st. If nobody had sold a single MoveQuest, we'd have a liquidity pool of upwards of 40 million, almost 40 million there. The community has cashed or exchanged their MoveQuest tokens for a total of $36.62 million. Okay, that's a lot. And we've still maintained a very healthy market value and some very strong liquidity values. So currently, out of the 21 million, the vault currently holds 19,920,076 MoveQuest tokens. Now, what you see here, the hatchery and the circulating supply, those MoveQuest tokens are currently owned by the community. What's in the hatchery is been there that it was used to mint miners and earn the additional MoveQuest mining rewards of 0.001846 per day per MoveQuest spent to mint your miners. Currently, there's 382,432 MoveQuest tokens in the hatchery. You guys should all give yourselves a pat on the back. I mean, hug your person that shared MoveQuest with. That's an amazing number. Okay. Right now, the hatchery is holding 59% of the user's circulating supply of MoveQuest. that shows very good strength for this project. It shows very good support from the community. It shows a very good belief system in this project. That number right there tells the whole story. The circulating supply, that 265,071 MoveQuest, that is what is currently in holders' wallets. Okay, that means that they're mining it, they're claiming it, and they're holding it. They haven't gone to the exchange and sold it. Those two rows belong to the community. Okay, each and every one of you who are here, you have some of those tokens in the hatchery, you have some of them in your wallet. When the incubation period is completed, the community will receive back that full 382,432 MoveQuest plus whatever your hatchery mining reward is every day that you submit. The mining pool, okay, this is where, when you submit that proof of physical activity and then you claim your MoveQuest rewards based on what you've submitted to the blockchain. The mining pool smart contract currently holds 247,874 of those MoveQuest tokens. That takes us up until August 4th of 2025. So that was pre-stocked with the MoveQuest that would be mined between now and August 4th. So that's how much is sitting in that contract. Now there's miscellaneous smart contracts like the mining commissions when you go and you mint a Vanguard. Currently, you can mint Vanguards on the Get Fit Mining site. So there's a smart contract that's got the MoveQuest commissions that are there. So there's like 3 or 4 smart contracts, and though they hold 7,696 MoveQuest tokens. The ecosystems wallet is currently holding 103,104. This is MoveQuest token that has been purchased by the ecosystem, which will be used as liquidity in the future. The liquidity pool currently holds 65,394 MoveQuest tokens. Those will have to be purchased before they can be sold. And then the mining dock, when you unlock your mining dock slots, there's 8,353 MoveQuest tokens in that smart contract, and those as well can never be sold. They have to be used as liquidity. So the great thing about the MoveQuest project is when the MoveQuest is coming in, it never can be sold by the project. It can only be used as liquidity. So that means as it's coming in, it has to be used as liquidity, meaning it has to be bought before it can be sold. So the project is not competing with the community as far as like the market value of the token, because the project doesn't sell MoveQuest. There's no allocation of MoveQuest, not to me, not to the developers or the designers or anybody else. It's all mined or purchased. So that's a good thing. So all those numbers equal 21 million MoveQuest tokens. So if you were to add up every single one of those rows from the hatchery to the mining dock, it would equal the 21 million. So this gives you a breakdown of where every single MoveQuest token is. Now you guys have to all agree. 382,432 MoveQuest in the hatchery is amazing. That's awesome. And there's only 265,071 that can be sold. Okay, because that's all that's being held in the holders' wallets. Now, every single day, everybody has to understand that where you see the mining pool, 2,500 of them are distributed. Okay, so the circulating supply can increase by 2,500 every single day. So it does have an impact on the liquidity pool and various factors as we go through the rest of this presentation, just so everybody understands. So the fluid level changes every day. If 2,500 go into circulation, but they're not in the hatchery, then it changes the values of how fluid the liquidity pool is. So those of you who are not planning to sell your MoveQuest tokens right away, the hatchery is really the best place to put them because you're earning that additional reward. And it also makes a huge impact on the stability of the liquidity. But just want everybody to understand that you have to remember every single day, 2,500 MoveQuest tokens are being mined and can be claimed. And as August 4th, gets closer and closer, that 247 will begin to decrease, and those will go back into the circulating supplies number. So we'll increase that number. Or if people are selling, the ecosystem buys MoveQuest, which it does, to keep that under control. The ecosystem right now tries to keep it between 260 and 265,000 MoveQuest tokens. The algorithm is really happy at about 255,000. So the algorithm does kind of keep that under control by buying MoveQuest from the liquidity pool and different things of that nature, but that's all in the algorithm. The MoveQuest that's been mined from August 1st through today is 725,000 MoveQuest tokens. So we have 382,432 in the hatchery, 265,071 in the wallets. That means total, our community is holding 647,503 of the 725,000 that have gone into circulation. Now, I didn't go real deep into when we started the liquidity pool. We sold 200,000 MoveQuest tokens. We raised $100,000 for the liquidity. There was no pre-sale, but there was a liquidity raise. 2 weeks later, the MoveQuest token was listed with 100,000 MoveQuest to 100,000 USDT, listing at $1. So that added 300,000 MoveQuest tokens into circulation. Not ever listing on, I think, whatever exchange I get tired. I can't remember. PancakeSwap, Sushi, and Uniswap. We got all these different exchanges I'm working with right now. But when we listed the token, I made a mistake. And what it did was it sold out all of the 100,000 MoveQuest tokens. It had gotten to, I think, I don't remember, $6 or $7 or something like that, and it closed the pool. And I was sitting there going, oh my God, what just happened? So we had to restart it. And what we did was we restarted it with, I think it was 35,000 MoveQuest tokens or something like that. Bottom line is this: all of those extra tokens were bought back by the ecosystem and returned to the vault. So I didn't put in the liquidity raise because all of that was already returned months and months ago to the vault. So it's just the basic right here, what's in. It doesn't include what that liquidity raise is because the ecosystem has already absorbed over I think it was 355,000 MoveQuest tokens that has been purchased by the ecosystem. So basically, just to make it simple for everybody, those of you who've been here when we listed the token, you remember that day and what had happened. So for those of you who are here, I'm just explaining to you why I didn't include the liquidity, the tokens that were used for the liquidity and the liquidity raise, because it's already been absorbed and put back into the vault. So it's corrected itself and done. So what this is telling you is that this community is holding 89% of what they've mined. Only 11% has been sold. Now, take the liquidity raise at 200,000, plus there was 20,000 in commission, MoveQuest, and then the 100 and something thousand that was added to the liquidity. You're talking about the 345, 350,000. Those were all sold. I didn't include that in here because the ecosystem already absorbed them. So if you look at just what was mined, the 725,000, those are amazing numbers right there. That tells you that we have a very strong community. So when people get frustrated or upset when they see people selling on the exchange, think back to this slide right here, because you've got an amazing community of people who are really holding. And what's happened from last August 1st, when the mining began, to today, is that all of that excess MoveQuest has already been flushed back into the vault. So the weak hands are gone, basically, is what that's saying. I'm not saying people aren't selling, but there's not an excess of MoveQuest. We don't have whales here. You don't have wallets that are holding this huge number of MoveQuest tokens. It was never made possible. Like, there was no pre-sale where somebody could come in and buy, 100,000 MoveQuest tokens for, $5,000 or anything stupid like that. Like you see happening, so many times with these projects, which really inflate and deflate so quickly. With that project's liquidity pool, it basically breaks itself. None of that exists here. And when you've got 89% of the community holding those MoveQuest tokens, those are strong numbers right there. So just remember that when people are selling, nobody's got enough tokens to break this project. There's not one single person here holding enough tokens to break this project. It's impossible to break this project. This project cannot go bankrupt because it's completely decentralized. It's a self-funding ecosystem, and it all is math and makes total sense. It's a very strong project. So I just wanted you guys to really see this, because I think that all of you should be really excited about the milestones that we've made. Have we had delays in getting the MoveQuest app done? Yeah, we have. It's the most complex system probably you could ever imagine in your wildest dreams. There's a reason why there's nobody doing this, because it's so extremely hard to do. If you guys only understood what the last 4 years has been like, August will be 4 years since we started the development of this project. And we're actually winding down into final days where all features are going to be available. And now we can move on to the second stages of our roadmap, which we haven't made available to the public yet. But we've got a lot of really awesome stuff coming, not to mention our travel to earn is not off the table. So we'll begin working on that as well this year. So everybody will be able to, your Uber drivers, your Lyft drivers, your DoorDash and grocery shoppers and travelers, and, by air, by land, by sea, we'll be able to start mining as well. And so that will be stage 2. We got to give the developers a break before we start that, because I'm sure that they are really looking forward to this much deserved break that's coming to them here very soon. So for all of you who are in the hatchery, when you look at our progress bar on that page, it's telling you the amount needed. That brings us to 60% of the circulating supply inside the hatchery. So we're at 59% right now. 388,502 as of tonight is the amount of MoveQuest tokens that would bring us to the 60% being held. Anything above 60% is going to be just simply awesome, right? Because that is what's going to really bring in the supply and demand ratios where they need to be. That 60% goal that we have, that's the overage, right? That's what is not in demand right now. And so by putting it in the hatchery, you're able to mine that additional 0.001846 MoveQuest per MoveQuest used to mint those miners. Now, when that first day of that 222 days is up, everybody who's in the tier 4 hatchery will be able to roll into the golden hatchery at no cost. It's just stake your MoveQuest. You don't get the miners. You've already bought the miners. So you won't get miners, but you also don't have the AVAX fee or anything like that. And you will continue to earn that 0.001846. Now, I'll explain a little bit more on that here in the next couple of slides. So hopefully everybody understands the significance of this. And hopefully you guys are all like super excited, because these are amazing numbers and stats. Now we're going to talk about the MoveQuest distribution for year 1. The mining pool will have 912 500,000 MoveQuest tokens that's distributed. That's at 2,500 per day. There was a mining pool reserve for the first 183 days 457,500 are there. Now, I am going to just let everybody know right now, the hatchery, before we went to the 4 tiers, the developers were doing a migration and they didn't pause one of the hatchery contracts. They didn't, I don't know if they just overlooked it or if they didn't think it was going to cause an issue. But what ended up happening was while they were migrating the hatchery cards into the new smart contract, there were people that were claiming, they were coming in, minting their miners in the MoveQuest that was being held for X amount of days. It calculated in the one contract, calculated in the second contract. So if you claimed your MoveQuest in the, what we would call a legacy contract, it still allowed you to double claim those. We have a list of all those wallets. So just so everybody knows, and we're going to say it up front, because our tokenomics are super, super strict. There are 2 people who did contact us and say, hey, whoa, I double claimed this. Where do I send that MoveQuest back? It was a significant amount of MoveQuest that this happened with. I think that had a little bit to do with some of the overselling too, but just so everybody knows, if that happened, because everybody knows there's not enough MoveQuest around. If you got double the MoveQuest and double the miners, you get to keep the miners. But when we do return the mining pool reserve, when we release those wallets that double claimed the MoveQuest, it will be clawed back from the mining pool reserve. Everybody, in order to get any of the hatchery rewards, you had to submit. So those wallets, every single wallet that did double claim that MoveQuest, and everybody knows who they are. I mean, you can't claim that amount of MoveQuest without realizing that you did it. It's not your fault, but you didn't return it. That's just kind of like, to me, that's more of a on your honor kind of thing. I don't know. Some people might go, oh, yay, this is cool. I got double the MoveQuest, but it's not fair to the community. And so because of that mining pool reserve, because it hasn't released yet, the demand isn't there for that 450 or 457,600 MoveQuest tokens. That mining pool reserve, any of those wallets, and there's no way, because it's decentralized, right, for us to notify you by email or anything like that. But you'll notice on your mining pool reserve, because it'll give you a breakdown in the app or the Web3 page when we do release those. Those of you who are putting in a question asking when will that happen, when the demand is there. It's not there yet. I can't tell you when it's going to happen. The algorithm's going to let us know when it's ample time. As the community grows and that demand is there, those will begin to release. But you'll get a breakdown for your wallet, and it will show you each day's mining reward for the mining pool reserve, and it will also show you the double claim on the MoveQuest from the hatchery, and it will show you the deduction of that MoveQuest for the double claim in the hatchery, completely above board, transparent, show you the transaction IDs, because of course everything is recorded to the blockchain. So I just want to let everybody know that up front. That did happen. That's part of the beta testing and the building of this project. Every now and then you run into these little glitches or bugs or whatever you want to call it, and that is what happened. So we're not pointing any fingers. We don't even know who you are. All we see are wallet addresses. So it's not like, oh, we know you did it. We don't know who you are. We just know what wallets got the double and what wallets will, it'll be retrieved from that mining pool reserve. Okay, enough on that. The hatchery. So the mining pool reserve, it went on for 183 days. It was from August 1st to August 1st of 2024 to January 31st of 2025. That's 183 days. The hatchery picked up the remaining 182 days, of which 2,500 MoveQuest tokens are allocated to the hatchery for a total of 455,000 tokens. The first year Liquidity reserve receives 803,000 of the 2,628,000 MoveQuest tokens for year one distribution. Now, what's significant about this? Okay. The hatchery currently, as of today, is rewarding 706 MoveQuests per day. It increases, as the MoveQuest increases in the hatchery, that amount goes up. Now there's 2,500 allocated each day, but only 706 are currently being used. So the extra MoveQuest, it just rolls into the future. So it just, adds even more days onto the hatchery for the mining. Now, for year two, we'll share how year two will go. Everything is based on supply and demand and community growth. So let's say we stayed consistent with the basic size of the community we have right now, you would see a duplication of this year two. But if the community is growing, then these numbers will change, because in the first 4 years, each year, 2,628,000 MoveQuest tokens go into circulation. But again, unlike Bitcoin, Bitcoin was the first coin to hit the market ever in the crypto world. And there was no nothing to look on for an example, no mistakes to fix. The reason Bitcoin had such a hard time getting off the ground is, one, you had so much, negative opinion of it, for one. Two, nobody even knew what it was. Three, it literally, put into circulation 7,200 Bitcoin per day. It started out with only a few hundred people involved in Bitcoin. And by the end of the first year, only 1,000 or 2,000 people. So you have, 2.6 million Bitcoin in circulation with only a few thousand people that are holding it. By year two, it was tens of thousands of people for the same 2.6 million. By year 3 and 4, now you had millions of wallets that were holding it, but you had so much of it in circulation. It took a while for Bitcoin to really get off the ground. You see where it's at now. Bitcoin will hit $1 million. There's no way around it. I know people don't believe it, but you guys know me in spreadsheets. I could almost tell you exactly when it'll happen, just because I track it so close. It will hit $1 million. So for those of you who think it's too late for Bitcoin, it's not. And for those of you who think that MoveQuest can't hit Bitcoin prices, I guarantee you it can, and it can do it in a lot faster time frame. We are already 4 times ahead on the market value of the token. I haven't really paid much attention to Bitcoin's, what its liquidity pool was in the first few years, but it wasn't a whole lot. So currently, just so everybody knows, this is how the first year one distribution is currently mining and distributing the MoveQuest tokens. So the hatchery, if you are mining every single day, those of you who are on this call who are in the hatchery, I know you'll love it. It is amazing. As the MoveQuest market value increases, remember, it takes less MoveQuest to mint your miners. If it takes less MoveQuest to mint your miners, that means that you're earning less of the MoveQuest in the hatchery. So when the MoveQuest price is going down, that's when you want to beef up what you have in the hatchery, because that's going to increase your rewards. So think about it like this. If MoveQuest, and I don't have perfect math in my head right now, but if MoveQuest is at $8, okay, and let's say it takes 200 MoveQuest to mint your miners. That's 200 MoveQuest that you're getting 0.001846 every single day you submit. But if MoveQuest goes up to $16, now it only takes 100 MoveQuest to mint the same amount of miners. So now you're only mining 0.001846 on 100 MoveQuest tokens. So when the price is going down, that's when you're going to get more in the hatchery. Okay, that increases what you're mining in the hatchery. So that's something to really think about. Now the golden hatchery, the market value of MoveQuest, that won't matter. Okay, you've already come through the tier 4, you have your miners, and you'll be able to just move it all into the hatchery. Now, for those of you who, and I've heard this is why I'm going to comment on it, put $50 or $100 or whatever into, you have a, let's say you're holding a lot of MoveQuest, but you've only put in 50 MoveQuest into the hatchery because you're going to wait for the golden hatchery. Now remember, yes, you can put more into the golden hatchery than you actually have in the tier 4, but it's only going to be a percentage. And right now, based on algorithms, it will be about 15% of what you have in the hatchery. So if you have 100 in the hatchery, you'd be able to add an additional 15 to the golden hatchery, because we have to make sure we stay within a uh, a number that can be rewarded through that hatchery. We can't go over the 2,500 just yet per day. So right now, and we're still watching it, it all depends on everything, all these tokenomics, what's in circulation, what's in the hatchery, what's sold, what's this, what's that. So right now, all the numbers are coming back at about 15% would be able to be added. So if you have 1,000 MoveQuest tokens in the hatchery, you'd be able to add an additional 15% or 150 more MoveQuest into the hatchery than what you actually had in the tier 4. But if you only have 100 in the hatchery and you have 5,000 sitting in your wallet or 1,000 sitting in your wallet, you won't be able to pull all those over into the golden hatchery. So I want to make sure everybody understands that, so there's no misunderstanding, because I think we're only, I don't know, 100 days away maybe from, and that's going to go super fast, from those first MoveQuest completing in the hatchery. All right, moving on from that spreadsheet. Now we're going to talk about the liquidity. Currently, 65,394 MoveQuest tokens are paired to 582,526 USDT. That gives the market value on MoveQuest of $8.91. Now, you guys all seen it moving up to the $16 mark, and that's when we've seen that spike of growth and engagement into the project. Doesn't take much to drive the market value of this token up. But then when you see the that demand start to drop down, or you don't see that burst of community growth, it comes in spurts. If it drops down, you start to see the market value settle back in to its comfort zone. Okay, I like to use the word comfort zone because that kind of gives everybody a better visual of what I'm saying or what I'm trying to explain here. This current project right now, if everybody was to sell what they're currently holding in their wallet, 265,000 MoveQuest tokens, would get a market value between $8.91 and $4.35. Okay, it's 75% of the holders would. The additional 25% of the holders would take it back down to the $1 mark if every single one of those MoveQuest tokens were sold. That doesn't happen. And there's all kinds of things set up within the ecosystem that wouldn't take place anyway. I'm trying to get to explaining how the fluid portion of this pool works. So what I'm trying to explain here. So currently, we have a liquidity pool of $1,165,052. Now, a lot of people may not think that's a lot, but there's only 265,000 MoveQuest in circulation, and over $36 million has already been cashed from this liquidity pool since August 1st. Okay, you guys, that's a lot of money. We've got approximately 8,500 holders of the MoveQuest token. And of those 8,500 MoveQuest token holders, a little over $36 million, or 30, it's either 35.6 or 36.5 something, without me going back and looking at my spreadsheets to give you the exact, but roughly $36 million since last August 1st. That's a lot of money. And the market value of this token is still at $8.91. And here I go and pick on Steppen again. I have to, because they had over 2 million people that spent hundreds of millions of dollars, and they can't get past 5 or 6 cents. I don't even know what it is. I haven't looked at it in probably a month or two. But you're talking about a move to earn project that had gained traction with over 2 million people, and they can't get past, they can't even reach $1. They can't reach 10 cents. They can't reach 50 cents. We're sitting here with 8,500 people in our community who have cashed out over $36 million, and we have a market value on our token of $8.91. And we're only 25% away from being fluid. How? Well, because the ecosystem has already bought that 67,142 MoveQuests that needs to be paired to $598,093 of USDT. It's the ecosystem is holding over 400 and some thousand. It's got 345,000 that it's already purchased and absorbed. It's got 103,000 that it's holding in the Evolution wallet. It's already got that 67. That 50% is already taken care of. The ecosystem's already bought it. So it's already got $598,093, well over that, of the MoveQuest token. Now, currently, the algorithm, we're not far away from the USDT. We're almost halfway there. The algorithm hasn't kicked in to inject liquidity because of the selling pressure. It wants to see it settle down to where it's going to land, okay? When you go up high with a market value, it always goes down, okay? Always does. It's back and forth. This token is less volatile than most of your tokens. You would see this fluctuation from, $20 to $5 and $5, $20. Sometimes you see that multiple times a day with certain projects. This is coming into a market value where the overselling is starting to taper off. The buying is starting to increase, where you're starting to see the buys a little higher than what the selling is. Now, because it's starting to settle in on this market value, on this portion of your exchange rate, it will start that injection process so it can stabilize it so that more people get the higher market value of the token. So it kind of will start to inject at a market value that is a comfort level to stabilize this token. So it wants to make sure it can get as fluid as possible. So as the market value of the token comes down, so does the amount of USDT that is needed to be paired to the MoveQuest. So let's say that dropped down to $8. Then what would be needed of the USDT would be closer to 500,000. If it dropped down to $7, it would be closer to 400,000. And the amount of MoveQuest that it would need would be less. And so the algorithm is looking at the community's behaviors, the holding behaviors, which I'm going to tell you right now that Hatchery, that's a major plus in the algorithm. The amount that is being held in wallets, it stays consistent, seriously, between 250 and 265. It's consistent if you look at the history of it. The algorithm, the trends, what it sees on the exchange, there's so many factors that play into this that when you start to see that market value stabilize, where it isn't dropping much more below where it's at right now. Okay, it was almost at $20 here about a month ago, and then it started to drop. We had one day where I think 4,600 MoveQuest tokens were sold. I think that took it down to, I think it went from 11 because it already started to do a decrease, but that was the one day that it really kind of started to move into this pattern here, this market level, because it went from 11 down to 9, and then it's kind of shifted from 9 to this $8 range for about probably the last 2 weeks almost. So it's starting to, now the algorithm is getting ready to start kicking in those liquidity injections because it's starting to stabilize, where this market value is showing that this is where, it's going to stay pretty current, or going to stay pretty, pretty much at this point. It won't go much lower. If it does, it's a plus because it just takes less of that USDT. So we are only 25% away from being fluid because it's already got the 598,000 of the MoveQuest. It's got, really, we're about 12.5% away from that, because if I was to go and look, it's probably sitting at close to half of what it needs for the USDT. It'll start to slowly inject that. Now, I'm not telling you that to manipulate a market. I'm letting you know as a community how the ecosystem is working. that's not buys, okay? That's not telling you, oh, the ecosystem is going to come in and buy it up above 891. That's not what that amount that it sits on is for. When it buys, it's a whole different trigger. This is liquidity injection, and so it doesn't it doesn't change the market value. So if it was to take 200,000 tonight and pair it to $200,000 worth of MoveQuest and added that 400,000, the market value would still be $8.91. So that's what I'm explaining to you here, is that liquidity injection, not market correction. All right, so here's where you want to mark your calendars. May 29th. This will be the absolute final day. It's in the contract already. It'll stop automatically. That will be the final day that miners can be minted, where you get 100% of the MoveQuest back, plus your mining rewards after the 222 days of daily mining and submitting that proof of physical activity. Okay, that is the final day, May 29th. On May 30th, the hatchery will be the only way to mint miners. No longer will you be able to mint the vanguards and then evolve them. You have to come through the hatchery. Minting the vanguards is, the vanguards, the trailblazers, the explorers, and the vanguards. Those will come through the hatchery. The titans have to be evolved. On June 1st, all miners, not including titans, will be minted using the hatchery. Now, the MoveQuest spent to mint the miners will not be returned in 222 days. You will spend the MoveQuest to mint the miners, just like you had to do prior to the hatchery. The reason we did the return of the MoveQuest was to make sure we have enough MoveQuest in supply. If you remove too much, then you have an inflated market value. And so we have to make sure that we have enough, okay? So that you don't see the market value go up to $300 when really the liquidity could only support $100. And so as of June 1st, that MoveQuest will not be returned in 222 days. I tried really hard to figure out a way to be able to return MoveQuest still. We can't, because we have the reserve MoveQuest that needs to be released. And if we were to continue to return the MoveQuest from the hatchery, it would just delay what would be released through the reserve. So it doesn't make any sense to do that. You spend the MoveQuest to mint the miners. That's part of the utility. The perk that you do get is that the amount of MoveQuest spent to mint your miners, you will earn that extra reward of 0.001846, just as if the MoveQuest was going to be returned to you. But at the end of 222 days, you only get the MoveQuest reward. So for everybody who has taken advantage of the hatchery right now, I mean, really, it's like getting those miners for free, because you get all that MoveQuest back. Right now, what it's doing is it's just holding it in that smart contract so that it's not sold and it's taken out of circulation. So it has a positive impact on the liquidity, and it removes that selling pressure from the algorithm. Now, come June 1st, it's a whole new ballgame, because none of that MoveQuest will go back. Now, this takes us back to the hatchery. If the community grows, to the numbers that we think it's going to grow based on just things that we're doing behind the scenes, working with different projects and companies. The MoveQuest that comes in through the hatchery can be used for liquidity. It can't be sold, right? Because it belongs to the community's ecosystem. Or it can also add to the hatchery rewards. So it will provide liquidity, or it will recycle through the hatchery, so that the hatchery can always continue to reward that 0.001846. So it won't be sold by the project, but it can be used in the hatchery and liquidity. And June 2nd, MoveQuest will be available on Android and iOS. Now I'm going to come back to this, but I want to move on to the next slide first. MoveQuest Labs LLC is our development portion of our project. Why? Because we are working on an app for those of you who like walking with your pets and our travel. Okay, so in the future, our apps will be under MoveQuest Labs LLC. It is a legally registered company in the United States, and it does serve as the official development entity behind the MoveQuest project and app. So you guys all know I'm really transparent. I'm always on my calls with you guys. I give you guys information straight up. I don't sugarcoat nothing. Some people sometimes think I'm rude, some people don't, but I believe that transparency is always the best policy. So I'm letting you guys know all this right up front that we are registered as a limited liability company. We are in good standing. We are not releasing the address of the MoveQuest Labs limited liability company simply because we don't want to get bombarded with a bunch of mail and stuff when everything can be done online. We are still a decentralized project. We do, when I say we, MoveQuest, me, myself, hold that EIN, and we hold an active DUNS number, which are used strictly for business verification, developer credentials for like Apple, Google. And if we ever did use third-party integrations, which so far we never have, sometimes that DUNS number is required. We don't share that DUNS number. Obviously, that would be like me giving you my social security number. So I only disclose that DUNS number um, as required for like Apple and Android. And our project fully complies with Apple and Google developer program requirements. So I want everybody to know right up front, we are legally registered in the United States. Prior to the election, I wasn't sure if we were going to register offshore, if we were going to register in the United States. It all was dependent upon whether Trump got into office or not. He did. So we opted to register here in the United States as he supports crypto. Now, the reason I'm telling you all of this is because Apple can take a bit of time to approve everything. It could be done as quickly as a day. It could take a couple of weeks. If on June 1st, for whatever reason, if there's a day or two delay or something, you will still be able to go into test flight and download the MoveQuest app. Okay, just so everybody understands that. But we are already in the process with Apple. Everything is good, and you will be able to download it from the Apple Store. Our goal is that it will be done by June 2nd, but we don't want to hold off the community being able to use the MoveQuest app any longer than June 2nd. Now, for Android, that's a bit different because of their OAuth process that you have to go through for the sharing of that data to the platform, to the project. And Health Connect is a complete and total nightmare. So you will not have to download a new app. You will just have to update your current app. We will be using the identifier of the Get Fit Mining app, but it will be called MoveQuest. And then in the process, we'll start working on the complete change with Android, but this way there's no disruption. Everybody will be able to use the MoveQuest app at the same time. Now what I have to do, you guys, is I have to come in on my phone so I can give you guys a walkthrough of the app. I'm going to do that. This right here. All right. There won't be any sound, but you'll be able to see it. So here we go. There is a green bar at the bottom that you click every time you do something, but for some reason, I think the same is showing. So this here is where you choose your network, and it is set up now for Binance, for Avalanche, and for KaiChain. This is where a person will just link their external wallet. And then once that external wallet is linked, you paste it in the address. It'll give you, allow the paste. Here you go. It sets you up with your external wallet. And then I'm going to pause this real quick. Pause. And we're going to just go past this because I put in my PIN. Okay, and we'll play again. Okay, here we go. And this here is the inside on the dashboard. So it's giving you your calories burned, your steps, the miles running or walking, your workouts, your sleep. At that time, I hadn't turned on my watch or anything or had put it on. I went kind of slow through this because I was reading everything. Because we're going to be changing this. You're going to have a goals page. There you'll set up your own goals, what you want for the day, and then it's going to share on the scroll. If your goal is to get 4 hours of sleep, it will show 4 hours of sleep. If your goal is to get 5,000 steps, it'll show what your goals are. Then inside the app, all of the how-to videos are displayed. So if anybody has questions on how to do each step, they can click view all and they'll have a list of all of the how-to videos to get started with the app. It gives them a link to the MoveQuest customer support. Now, the app you guys are seeing, there's been some changes made, like typos and things of that nature. This screen is showing you what your mining inventory is, the amount of miners that you hold. I was shocked I only had one more Titan left, and I didn't even have it docked in my ninth slot. I had paid to open it, never docked it. So it shows here I have a total at this point of 3,200% mining power. This is your earning our mining page where you submit. Um, so it looks a little bit different. And then it has your claims. Now, we did change it from claim all to just claim because you can still only claim 10 days at a time. At the top of this page and at the bottom of the page, you can also look at the history. This is the mining dock where you place your miners. You can still click on the miners. So it will open up the miners. It will give you all of the detail of the miners. I'm really upset because I don't get to show you the hatchery. The hatchery looks really cool. It was added uh, after I had done this particular recording. It's got a really cool scroll. People will be able to set, you can see I'm taking screenshots because there's issues. Profile settings, you'll be able to set them. Dark theme, light theme, whether you want your distance in kilometers or miles. I'm having that changed because that's really not a profile setting. Notification settings, for sound effects or receiving. You can see there's a little bug there. They had to get that fixed. So this was me just testing it for a second. Oh, it crashed. That's what you just seen there. So this was part of the testing. This was a few days ago. All that stuff has been fixed. So it's reopening again. So I'm sorry you guys have to see all this. I really wanted to see the app because it looks so much better and different now. But this will give you the idea of at least where it's at. Let's see, where else is it going to take you? Uh, I think at some point oh, back here. So privacy settings, security settings, then the help center that takes you back to the videos. That bug was gone when I came back to test it. So it was just kind of an intermittent thing, but still had to be fixed. Your security settings, that's being changed to, it's not really privacy settings, but it's your data settings. This is where you'll switch it from your phone or your watch. And so we're really kind of nearing the end of what I'm showing here. There's a whole lot more. So maybe tomorrow I'll have to figure out um, why they removed me from the test, but probably something going on with us changing over to MoveQuest to the corporate side instead of the personal side. But I'm guessing that that's what is going on because they wouldn't do that to me on purpose or not thinking about it. So anyway, it gives you guys an idea of where we're at. The hatchery has already been added. The phantom miners are being added. You'll be able to um, everything you can do right now, plus the hatchery, the leasing. The only thing that I believe won't be in the app is the evolution. Otherwise, everything else is supposed to be inside the app. When we launch the app, we will probably add the leasing right after. We want to be able to roll back in case there's a problem. So if we just put everything in all at once and there was a bug, we wouldn't have a version to roll back to. So currently what we're doing is we're adding in these features one by one. So we always have a version to roll back to. So we plan to have everything completed, including being in the iOS store no later than June 1st, releasing it to everybody by June 2nd. The goal is to get rid of test flight by then. So I really apologize because I was excited to show you the more updated version because it's like 3 updates beyond what I just showed you guys. I just didn't record the latest ones. But if I get it back tomorrow, maybe I'll just do a real quick, just kind of pay attention and see if we tell you, hey, jump on Zoom quick, and we'll give you a quick rundown of it. But everybody gets a good idea of what it looks like. We're there. Um, all of the major infrastructure pieces have all been debugged. So when we're talking about the core functionality of the application on all the blockchains, it's all done, debugged, and ready to go. So now we're just, like I said, adding features, kind of running a few more tests, and then making sure we have a version to roll back to in case of any issues. So hopefully everybody's excited, but that's what I got for tonight's Zoom, Herschel.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I know there's a lot of individuals that are excited to actually see the MoveQuest app. And now we're not just talking about it anymore. We actually have the product ready to go. And we're extremely excited about that and look forward to the beginning of the month, which leads us to the point now where any of us that have been holding back just to see, the progress or waiting for the app, just know that the app is going to be there. It's going to do the things that we're already accustomed to doing. But now that it's actually the MoveQuest app and the platform that is built on, now they can actually start adding over time all of the other different elements and things like that that we've been talking about. So we have what we've been asking for imminently about to be in our hands. So now's the time to make sure that we're continuing to share this wonderful opportunity with other people so that they can get involved within the ecosystem and mine as well. So any of your other panelists have anything you want to share before we wrap it up? We definitely want to thank Lynette for giving us another hour of her time to share all of this information and the numbers. I mean, the numbers are what the numbers are, and the blockchain doesn't lie. So it's great to actually see and have someone actually break those things down so that the masses can actually understand what's going on from an accounting perspective. So we definitely thank and appreciate you for doing that for us, Ms. Lynette. So if none of you other panelists have anything you want to share before we part, we're going to go ahead and wish everyone a wonderful evening, and you will be seeing more updates and information coming over the days leading up to June 1st, June 2nd. So
Yeah, you know what, Herschel, I just want to say a special shout out to the MoveQuest Nation, especially those who are multi-set holders, multi-watch warriors out here, and the diamond hand holders in the crowd. I just want to remind everybody that Mr. Brandon Ivy lights it up every single Monday and Wednesday. Tomorrow, he's going to be doing an event at 1 p.m. sharp. I encourage everybody to get themselves out of the way and invite, share the MoveQuest project to the world. Be somebody who takes a stand for somebody else who's looking for a way to make some improvements in their life. This is it. So tomorrow, Brandon Ivy will be lighting it up at 1 p.m. Get yourself out of the way. Sometimes you're never a prophet in your own land. People will listen to somebody else a lot more attentively than they might listen to you. And then I myself will be doing an event on Thursday at 12 p.m. sharp. We're going deep. We're doing a quick start training as well. We're focusing on some of the safety and security principles that you have to have when you're involved in this industry. It's super important to do the right things to get the right results. So we're going to be going over that after the overview presentation on Thursday. And on Saturday we're going to do a really strong deep dive on training, some deeper level look at some A player advantages that you can take advantage of. And in fact, my sincere advice is I encourage you, now is the time that you want to reach out to the A players in your network. This is the absolute perfect time to introduce them to the hatchery. The hatchery is an extraordinary advantage. Anybody who lights up 9 Titans at this point in time will be getting extraordinary value. Not only will they get the highest power miners for under $10,000, for under $10,000, they're going to get the highest amount of mining power possible. They're going to have the ability to extract the maximum amount of token from the project at this point in time. And not only that, they're going to get back the MQT that they used to mint the NFTs in the first place after 222 days. That is unheard of. It's a gift. We ran the numbers the other day. We're going to run the numbers again on Saturday for everybody who wants to tune in at 12 o'clock sharp. We're going to run those numbers and show how if a person who has 9 Titans mints those miners, maxes out their proof of physical activity every single day over the next 222 days. Not only are they going to get their original MQT back, but they'll likely also have uh, uh, an additional set of rewards from what they earn from having the tokens in the hatchery in the first place, and as well the tokens that they earn from mining the token between now and 222 days. We ran the numbers based on today's tokenomics, based on today's market value of the MQT token. It would be approximately 650 MQT in 222 days. Imagine what that would look like when the token value hits back its all-time high of $125 and beyond. It's incredible what somebody can do with 9 Titans at this point in time. Now is the best time to reach out to the A players in your network, invite them to take a look at the project. And lastly, the one of the unsung heroes and the shining stars of the platform right now is the Phantom. The Phantom is an incredible opportunity. Right now, if a person mints the Phantom for free, absolutely free, test drive the technology. If they maximize their proof of physical activity over the next 30 days that they have access to the Phantom, they're earning a half of an MQT, zero point 0.5 of an MQT. You heard directly from the brilliant architect of this project that this market value could actually hit Bitcoin numbers within its lifetime. So that being said, imagine the zero point 0.5 of an MQT that you earn from mining with a free Phantom miner could be worth half of what Bitcoin is today at one point in time. So do not underestimate what's possible with the Phantom miner. Anyone, anywhere in the world can light up the Phantom for absolutely free. Test drive the technology. The Phantom will disappear after 30 days, but the token will be real. So that being said, thank you all so much. It was an awesome event. Thank you so much, Lynette. We really appreciate you all the time whenever you come out and share these details with us. Absolute
No, it's
fire.
great. I added myself back as a tester. I had time to log into the app, to the app store, and add myself back as a tester. So if you guys want to see the app with the hatchery, I can show you that part real fast for those of you that want to see it. I'm going to share one more time. Sorry, guys. I think they just did it by mistake, but who knows? All right, here we go. So I am going to open it. Well, you guys already seen how it opens, so I don't have to go through all that. So this is the home page, as you've seen, all of the videos, and this is the part that you didn't get to see, which was the hatchery. So you can see here in the hatchery, it scrolls so you can pick the tier that you want. It will show you your cards, so you'll be able to mint right from the app, where before you weren't able to do that. You had to be on the Web3. And because the hatchery is the only way that you can onboard and mint miners, now you'll be able to do that right within the app. Your earnings, just so I can show you, I already told you that was going to change the claim. It actually will allow you to claim the 10 days. It gives you the breakdown of what the cost is. It gives you your history. If you click on it, it will show you how many mining uh, shares, which are the hashes that you've generated, and the amount of MoveQuest that you have. It will give you, let's see here, the profile settings that's been changed. Data settings, which is where you pick. So that was the stuff I was showing you where you're just kind of testing it. The wallet, it now supports USDT, AVAX, MoveQuest, and any other token that we want to add on each one of the chains. And we do have a couple of projects that are coming in, so that'll be good. The external, so you can copy, it'll tell you what you have in the internal and in the external. This is your mining dock. I didn't realize I didn't have my ninth one docked. If you click on your miner, it will load the miner that's mining and it will tell you the type and it will give you all of the elements, the attributes. And we're also going to be adding what each one of the elements mean and what they do and what the bonuses are per each element. You can add and remove it from the dock there. Let's see, that's the home quest, the total mining power. I had 3,200, now I have 3,600, but that does not include all of the bonus mining power. So you still have the attributes, which are the steps, the distance, the calories, those extra bonus mining bonuses, that mining power plus whatever the element is. And then it shows you again what your mining power is. You can click on them, it'll open them up and it will show you what those miners are. Da-da-da-da. I go back to the home page. Each one of the features as they're added, like you see the hatchery here, the leasing would be, next. The marketplace. The marketplace is coming, so you'll be able to buy, sell, and swap your miners. Uh, the events, which will be for like the fundraising that we are going to be adding. We're going to talk more about that in a couple of weeks. The events will be there. The last piece that we really need to add are the challenges. I don't expect that to be ready probably before beginning to mid June. We still have quite a bit of testing to do on the challenges, though it's almost ready. We still have some testing. The booths will be there, and also on June 2nd, we're working really hard to turn on the Titan power increase. So, those of you who are increasing your daily steps or your workout time or your distance that you walk, your calories that you burn. Now remember, calories burned and sleep, they're only 5% of the total mining power each for a total of 10%. 90% of your actual mining power comes from your steps, your distance, and your workout. So 30% of the mining power is coming from those three attributes for 90%. So every time you increase, or if you're staying consistent, you're submitting every day, that is what's going to increase that mining power on those titans. So we do believe that that will be ready to go by June 2nd. So for those of you who have those titans, remember you can get those titans up to that 1,000% mining power plus, because you got to remember, you got those bonuses. It doesn't stop at 1,000. That would just be the base mining power for each one of those titans. Now, if you slip and your workouts and whatnot start to decrease, then that mining power will begin to decrease back down to its original. And that means you've got to, start working again to increase that mining power. We do have the gamification side where you work through the arenas. And once that Titan hits the Hall of Fame, it does maintain that mining power, which makes that miner extremely valuable and more rare as well than the other Titans that are available. So that will make your Titan more sought after in the marketplace when they're too expensive to buy. Because remember, we're getting to a point now where that MoveQuest is going to lock. for what the amount of MoveQuest is going to take when you mint a miner, regardless of what the market value of that MoveQuest is. And so um, while the miners are becoming more expensive, you're also working on getting those titans mining power to increase as high as you can, get them into that Hall of Fame so that mining power locks. Now, once a person buys it, they've got a miner that's got excess of 1,000% mining power that won't decrease. So it takes some work to get it to the Hall of Fame, but it will make those titans more rare and more expensive when you go to sell those. So not a whole lot different to show you, but I wanted to show you how that hatchery it is in here, and you know how it works. You'll be able to claim your your miners right from inside the app. You'll be able to claim your MoveQuest back right from inside the app, and your rewards as well. So I'm done. That was it for me tonight, guys.
All right. Once again, we want to thank you for your time this evening. Everybody, have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we will see you this time next week. Until then, bye bye for now.